Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tatiana Show. It is August 9th, 2016, and I'm coming to you from the awesomeness of my apartment in New Jersey. I'm very glad to be joined by some really fun guests today, but my favorite of them all is not even a guest. He's a co-host. He's my friend, the awesome Josh from Voltoro. Hey, Josh, what's going on?
Hey, Tatiana. I am wonderful, apart from my broken arm, which is broken wrist, which is getting better and better, but it's awful to type with. And
how long do you have that on for?
Problems. Another 5 more days or 6 more days, something like that. Yeah,
well,
I actually broke it just after a Bitcoin conference in San Fran. And
yeah.
I went out and got a one-wheeled skateboard. I crashed it, broke my little finger and my wrist. But it's a great story, so that's fun.
Well, I'm glad that you lived. I feel like I want to make fun of you, and you were trying to show off when you were doing it, but I won't because you've already been punished by God. This is an exciting week here in New Jersey. Do you want to know why?
Yeah, why? Let us in on that.
It's my birthday.
Oh,
happy birthday. Thank you. I expect all sorts of people to be, wishing me happy birthday throughout the week. And it's going to be good. My birthday's on Thursday, but we're doing a big party in the city on Saturday night. So Stephanie Murphy is coming down, David Waxman, my PR guy and Bitcoin-loving friend. We do stuff together, obviously. And I don't know, a lot of different people. Tone Base hopefully will make it. I don't know. Lots of people are coming, and then just regular non-Bitcoiners. So we'll see if there will be a transition between the two.
Well, that's very exciting. I've been actually trying to stop with my ums and ahs because the feedback we've gotten was too many ums, too many ahs from me. And it's true. I sit there thinking, and I listen to some of the shows. It's horrible, all the ums and ahs. So I've decided there's one. Every that I do, I'm going to donate 500 satoshis to BitGive.
Really?
The show. So, yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
So I've got to really be careful. No, I don't be careful.
Tweeting that. That's very funny. Yeah, well, I think that's a good cause, and I think it's a hard habit to break, and I do it myself. But anyway, why don't we get on with it? We've got Anthony Iorio here. I've known Anthony for quite a while now. He's one of my oldest Bitcoin buds. He's based out in Toronto, and he's been working on a lot of different projects over the years, like Jax, Ethereum. He's now working at the Toronto Stock Exchange. Sounds very, very fancy. Let's bring him on and give him a warm welcome. Hi, Anthony. Nice to see you.
Hey, Tatiana. Happy birthday week.
Thank you. Arguably, we could do it for a whole month, but that was very sweet. Thank you. So for the folks at home that don't know you and aren't familiar with what you've accomplished in your time in the Bitcoin space, perhaps you could tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. I heard about Bitcoin in the summer of 2012. Did a typical not sleeping, eating for weeks kind of thing. Just so fascinating to me the way that we could basically enter a system that's decentralized, and I had full control of my money and the way it's done without needing central authorities.
But wait, what did you do before that? Like, why did you find out about it? That's what I always find interesting. It's like, yeah, sure. Once you go into Bitcoin, everybody's in the matrix together. But what happened when you were in the matrix or out of whatever?
Okay, so my background out of schooling was in marketing. Did that for a while. Joined the family business for maybe about 4 or 5 years. We decided to sell the business. My dad was retiring, and I had a lot of options then. I had owned some properties in some university areas there, so I was a landlord for a while. Always been involved in technology my entire life, building computers since I was like 8, robotics camps, always a computer person in my family. And then it was about 2010, 2011, I just got out of a business doing geothermal drilling. So it was literally, we were drilling holes in the ground hundreds of feet to provide heating and cooling to commercial buildings like IKEAs and things. It was a very interesting space that I got into. I was looking for something in green technology. Did that for a number of years.
Cool.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
Like a good idea.
It was great until the government started getting involved with it. So all of the red tape that started to come out of like just there's something you're trying to do good. You're getting rid of furnaces for heating and cooling and using the Earth's temperature, but they get their hands on it and make things a lot more difficult and a lot more complicated. And there started being a lot more red tape, and it became it basically became very difficult to make money in that industry anymore when they started implementing a lot of the regulations and rules. So decided to lease the machine that we had, and that's still operating now. And my brother was going through this phase where he was really digging into what money was, and he was directing me to all types of things online to read, and I started really digging into it and starting to learn really what money was. I started getting into the freedom mindset, the individual mindset, and started listening to a lot of Peter Schiff. So Peter Schiff, I was listening to his daily podcast and started looking for other shows on freedom and liberty, and came across Free Talk Live. So like many other people in the Bitcoin blockchain space, they got into Bitcoin because of Free Talk Live. And I'm guessing most of your listeners know about Free Talk Live, but I guess for those that don't, Free Talk Live is a daily radio show that's available on 170 radio stations in the U.S., and they've been doing it since 2002, and a lot of people in the Bitcoin space heard about Bitcoin through it. In fact, they heard about Bitcoin through Gavin Andresen, one of the previous core devs for Bitcoin, who basically got them into the space, and they've been a big proponents of Bitcoin since, and people like, I think, Charlie Shrem and Roger Ver, and I think maybe Eric Voorhees heard about Bitcoin through Free Talk Live. So that's where I got in. And they started talking about Bitcoin.
We're on MRN, by the way. We air
That's
on.
right.
Yeah, isn't
that's
that cool?
right, yeah.
Right,
it's very cool, and we're a sponsor of the show. So they started talking about Bitcoin. I had never heard about it. Started looking into it. That same day, I went out and found someone on local Bitcoins. Got my first Bitcoin for like $9.70 cents, 73 cents, I believe. And just the technology just amazed me. And about a month later, I started looking for communities in Toronto around Bitcoin, and there really wasn't anything out there. So I decided to start it. And I started the first Toronto Bitcoin meetup group. This was in 2012. I think probably about August, September 2012. Started then thinking about business ideas. As people get into the space, they started thinking, okay, what can I do in here? So I'm really passionate about it. What can I do? So started looking into the gaming space, and I hooked up with a developer online through Reddit, and we started, thinking about ideas that we could do. I had some business ideas, and we had our first project that came out called Satoshi Circle. It was basically a gaming site where you could deposit funds, start playing instantly, no usernames, no passwords. It played with Bitcoin. It's really cool graphical interface for what we developed. And from there, we started getting into the wallet space, the Bitcoin wallet space. I think from very early on, realized that the wallet is really the hub and the core of the technology. It's really everything gets done from a wallet. It's where you're sending, you're receiving, you're holding on to your stuff. And we really wanted to create a product that removed a lot of the friction points that we were seeing in the space. So we didn't want to have products that were holding on to customer funds. We didn't want to have products that if we were to go down, everybody would lose their money. We didn't want to have products that we'd have access to the keys or we'd have access to people's stuff. So we basically took the philosophies and the principles of Bitcoin and the technology and said, let's develop products around those core philosophies of transparency, of security, of responsibility, all these different things, and this is when KryptoKit was born. In 2013, KryptoKit, our wallet company, launched the first ever Chrome extension Bitcoin wallet, and then I think a month after launching, it was at the Las Vegas, I think it was Las Vegas Inside Bitcoins, I got shown a white paper from Vitalik Buterin. I've known Vitalik for quite some time because he's also from Toronto. He was one of the first. Him and Peter Todd were two people that showed up at the very first meetup that we set up. And he showed me this white paper, and pretty much everything changed after that. Everything was Bitcoin to me prior. Now I realized that there was other things, other functionality that could come out of this technology. And that's when the whole Ethereum stuff took off. Became the second person on the team, one of the initial 5 founders, and then we added another 3 founders, so there were 8 total. Went on the big, I guess, global promotion of Ethereum. It got really huge. We did the crowd sale. And then I went back to my other businesses and things I've been doing to help more develop out the ecosystem around the technologies. So I don't want to go on a huge long tangent now. I don't know if you want to break in there for a second.
Well, I have a question.
Sure.
So Ethereum is, I think, cool, multiple projects. I've heard a lot of cases for it, against it. But what do you think is for the average person, right? We could barely get people into Bitcoin. Why would the average person want to use Ethereum versus Bitcoin?
So Bitcoin's
what is the advantage of Ethereum, and how ready is it actually for people to be doing anything with it other than selling it?
Sure.
I mean, people are building on it, but go ahead.
Yeah, so in 2008, like I mean, the idea of the blockchain really solved that problem. This is what Bitcoin solved the problem of. Prior to Bitcoin, you couldn't have a digital currency because any digital currency could be copied. That's really what the big breakthrough was. It created something digital that you could have ownership of and prove ownership, and be able to transmit it as a payment mechanism, and you could do it in a way that it couldn't be copied, and that's really the problem that was solved. But Bitcoin is very limited to being just a payment system. And a lot of the other functionality that perhaps could have been proposed on Bitcoin wasn't, because of security reasons, because of other things. I mean, you don't try and solve too many things at once. So what Satoshi was doing was really solving that problem of a peer-to-peer, a trustless currency system without needing third parties. That's pretty much what he created there. When in 2013, the idea of Bitcoin was growing and people were trying to do other things on top of it, but really struggling because the infrastructure and the platform really wasn't made to do much more than to do simple transactions. And people were trying to do much more complex financial things on it. We had guys at Mastercoin trying to do that, BitShares, all these other companies. And Vitalik had been traveling around the world looking at all these different projects and seeing where they were struggling. And that's where he came up with the idea of a much more flexible, it's called the Turing complete programming language for blockchain. And what Ethereum is based on is something called smart contracts. So
wait, did he invent Turing complete and
No, Turing Complete's been something. That's from Alan Turing. So that's been around for a long time. But in general, what he did was he put together different concepts: blockchain, Turing completeness. So I see smart contracts as really the next major breakthrough after Bitcoin. It adds a much more flexibility where you could take manual processes that we're used to having third parties do, whether it be a bank, whether it be a broker, whether it be even a lawyer, and you can now automate them into code. And that code executes exactly how the developers code it. So basically, smart contracts enable an automation of services and and take blockchain beyond the payment realm into or a great deal of other industries, insurance, law, because you can now have developers code things that self-execute on a platform. Thus, I see it as a disintermediation technology for all the services that we're so used to relying on these third parties.
Yeah, it's a really big breakthrough in computer science. I mean, Bitcoin itself was.
But can I use it yet? Like,
yeah,
can I do anything with it? What can I do with it? And now, what's the deal with the whole split? I mean, doesn't that make everybody upset? And that just seems really intimidating to me. So I'm wondering why or do you think that you guys are just not there in the development of it?
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to look at where Bitcoin is and how long Bitcoin took it to where we are right now, and you could probably still very much argue that it's not used globally. It's not used by that many people, or not used by the general public right now. People are using it to buy and sell things online, and it's growing. It started off with a lot of gambling sites to start, then it went into merchant adoption and things, and now it's kind of stalling because of the scalability issues that we're seeing. But we're in the same stage as Ethereum. Ethereum is a platform where you can build decentralized applications on top of. Now, I think it's fair to say that. Oh, sorry, guys. I think it's fair to say that it's going to take some time for the ecosystem to build out. What Ethereum does have behind it, though, is a great deal of developers and a great deal of talent of people coming into the space because they're so intrigued by the smart contract concept. So right now, I think being able to trade it, yes, is where it's mostly being done. But we're seeing a massive ecosystem being built up. It's in a similar way that Bitcoin did. You're seeing some gambling sites come up through it because of the added flexibility of things. But you're going to see, I think, a much larger ecosystem build up because, again, it's not just centered around as a payment system, but it's really centered around being able to automate general contracts between individuals. And you're going to see in the future app stores that are built on Ethereum where you can just install a contract, you can install a will contract, and you can execute it on the platform without needing to have a third party involved with it. Now, I'm so sorry, my ringer's off. I don't know why it's ringing.
No worries.
First of all, I also want to say thank you very much for all your great work. I was a big fan of KryptoKit when it came out. I love the little chat feature, which was great. So thank you very much. And Jax is a fantastic wallet, folks. If you guys get a chance, download it. By the way, this is a question that I've got for you. Currently, we're starting to see a lot of scam wallets taking basically open source wallets, putting some dodgy code in there, and then uploading it to the app stores like Apple App Store and pretending it's something legit. Apple just seems to sign anything that comes through its doors nowadays instead of having an actual walled garden. What do you think is the solution for this problem? Because I remember thinking this a long time ago, thinking, how will Apple or Android actually secure or audit the code? Because we're in a whole new level of security issues now with crypto and digital money, and allowing just anyone to upload these wallets without some sort of checking in the code behind it. And you don't upload full open source code to these gardens. So have you guys put any thought into how we can do that? Maybe cryptographically prove that this is an original wallet somehow?
Sure. So this is a problem that's rampant right now, and it seems to have come up quite recently. But we also ran into this problem in 2013 on the Chrome extension store. There were actually malicious copies of KryptoKit that people were putting up. In fact, Google recognized that and took them down. And in the same time, they took down our wallet by accident. And it was actually the first time when they put ours back up, and they actually said, "We're sorry, we didn't mean to do that. We're actually fans of Bitcoin." That was the first time that Google really said that and came out and said, "Hey, we're fans of Bitcoin." So we're facing the same situation now, and I think it's just going to have to be a matter of Apple's going to have and Apple, maybe some other stores will have to take notice of this and do a little bit better job of being able to see which ones are malicious and ones that shouldn't be up there. But yeah, it's been over the last couple of weeks that they've been taking these wallets and putting them up, and to me it's a reason why as well to sometimes not have your code out there in terms of open source stuff. I mean, we own our code. Our code is visible and auditable. It's on our website. You can actually inspect the extension so you can see it's doing exactly what it's doing. But if you don't have these friction points and people can just take it, make copies, and put it up on an app store, I think that does more of a disservice to the community rather than a company that's maybe has their code and says, "Hey, we've been around for a while, trust us. We're not going to try not to make it too easy for everybody to take our designs, take our code, and put them up on wherever they want, because that's just going to lead to a lot of confusion and a lot of problems." It's a battle that I fight a lot because I don't think people necessarily want open source code. They want to know the code is doing what it says it's doing. That's the most important thing. To actually say that anybody can take it and do as they want, there's a very small handful, I think, of people that are really diehards that want that. What we've realized is our customers want to be able to see the code, perhaps. They want to know that they can trust the company. They want a face behind it. They want someone that's very visible in the community, that's accessible. So those are the things that we try to do. I don't think that we need to open source our stuff right now. We may look to it in the future, but we also got to think of investors. We got to think of different things as well. The complexities of picking different different license codes, it's quite complex. So it is a tricky situation, and we're seeing problems over the last couple of weeks, and I hope that the stores do take actions in order to quickly remove those ones that are malicious and maybe put up higher barriers that won't allow them to go on the stores.
Yeah, folks, if you're out there and you're promoting Bitcoin to your friends or family, get them to go to bitcoin.org or bitcoin.com and find actual links to the actual original software, because it is a bit hard to tell for a newbie if a wallet is original or not. And so I think that's a really good way to go to make sure that you're downloading something original.
Yeah, and I think also look at the reviews and ratings on the different stores, see how long they've been around, see what the comments are. That's another way to do it, because one that comes up brand new is not going to have any of that. So you can be a little wary about the ones that look like they're fresh and don't have any comments or reviews.
If you were to pick a wallet for somebody that, sometimes I suggest to people Coinbase, and I use Coinbase sometimes, and they're fine, but it kind of defeats the purpose a little bit of Bitcoin, right? Because they've got your passwords. Is there a way to have somebody manage your passwords without it being insecure, or no? Is that impossible?
Well, there's password management systems. I would just say
no, because somebody could break into your password management system.
Well,
right?
Then you got two-factor authentication. Yeah, there are I think also some decentralized password managers. I use LastPass. Not quite decentralized, but I'm pretty confident in the security features it has. And that's what I use. I have two-factor authentication on that. I'm pretty comfortable with that. But I think you were going to say if also, I mean, Coinbase is again, to me, not built on the philosophies and principles of Bitcoin, being that it holds on to customer funds. That's what we built our wallets around. Jax is a system where it's on 9 different platforms and devices. You hold your keys. We don't have access to them. The blockchain provides storage of your funds. You have the keys. So we're just basically a user experience that allows people to tap into the blockchain.
But if someone forgets their password, they're screwed, right?
Well, we don't use passwords.
Oh, I haven't tried it.
Yeah, we've never liked passwords. We don't like the friction points that passwords provide. So if you're installing it on the Play Store, it doesn't come with a password. You can add a PIN on top of that if you want. And what you do is you write down your 12-word seed. So we have a feature where it's just 12 words, which is a thing you can write down, and all your keys can be derived for that in the future. So you write down those 12 words, keep them in a safe place. If you ever need to regenerate your wallet again, that's the 12 words that you can use to get your Ether, access to your Bitcoin. All the other tokens that we add in the future can all be derived from that one 12-word mnemonic.
So do you have a counterparty on there? Can I store my Tatiana coins?
We're planning it. We want to be an agnostic wallet that allows people choice to use whichever blockchains they want. I don't believe in the hard stance of Bitcoin or, it's Bitcoin or nothing, or it's Ethereum or nothing, or it's classic versus Ethereum. No, I think we're in the stage we need to build up the ecosystem around this technology we think is so fantastic, and I think we want to bring all the communities together. We want to be very inclusive, and we want to be able to provide hardware and software that the whole blockchain community is going to be able to use. So we're targeting Dash is coming out, I think, it looks like very soon, I think next week now. And we're going to be adding all the other tokens. We're going to be adding Litecoin. We're going to be adding Dogecoin. We're going to be adding them all. And then you'll be able to also trade with Shapeshift between them, which you can already do right now on our wallet between Ether and Bitcoin. And so,
does the 12-word seed from all those different coins?
Yes. Yes.
So you don't need to have a different seed for every crypto coin?
No. The 12-word mnemonic will enable you to get private keys for as many different accounts that you even want in any tokens that you want. So, for example, you could have 10 different Ethereum private keys and public key accounts if you want. So everything is HD, hierarchical deterministic. So
we've lost Anthony.
That's what I hear when you guys talk about technical stuff. Like just dead air. Actually, more likely it would be like wah 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 wah. No, did we get Anthony back? Oh, I don't think so.
He might. He'll be back. He'll be back. Yeah. Look, hierarchical deterministic wallets. It sounds crazy, but really, it's not that bad.
What does that mean?
Well, every time you have a Bitcoin wallet address, you want to generate a new one because reusing an address over and over again is not very good for security. But if every time you generate an address, you need to keep the private key somewhere, or you need to back up all these things every time you use the wallet. So what hierarchical deterministic means is that it determines the next wallet from a seed of randomness. So you put a seed of randomness in, and every time you generate a wallet, it looks at that randomness and generates it from there. So that all you need to do is insert the original randomness, and you'll get the same tree growing beautifully. And so it means you can regenerate
that sounds
a wallet.
Cool. I want one of those.
Yeah, well, you most probably do if you're using a modern wallet.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I'm fine.
Yeah. So, where are we here? I think we'll have some dead air for a while.
Well, we don't have Anthony, but I don't know. We've got. Oh, here he is. Perfect. Good, because we're bringing up Matej from Decent, which is a pretty cool platform, in a little bit. But I'm glad Anthony. Josh has explained to me what the hierarchical
deterministic.
Well, that was really bad. Anyway, yeah, I know the gist. I know everything now.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you load Jax up, we had the Ether fork happening. And many people have Ether in their Jax wallet, like me, for instance. Is there a way for them to get the Classic as well, if they're original, if it was on the original chain?
So maybe I'll take a step here. When the DAO got announced, we started building stuff and getting Jax ready to actually do a lot of DAO integration. And when that just completely blew up, we decided to reevaluate the way that we're actually going to start doing more integrations without being I think we were a little too quick with the DAO. And I think what we decided with Classic is to really let it play out a little bit here. We're not going to interrupt our short-term development schedule to do what the integration would be needed for Classic, which is not just a matter of flipping a switch. We'd have to be determining how we distinguish between the addresses, how do we actually split people's funds. So what we realized is there's other ways that you can do that, whether it be to send your funds to an exchange, or there's a couple other services that can split it. So if people have funds in JAX, the best thing that they can do, if don't need to move it, is to keep it there right now. But if they do want to split and get Classic as well, there's services that they can send it to, and they can do their own research on that. I don't want to be recommending it, but where they can send the funds into a contract that splits it, and then you can actually, if you want to put your funds back into JAX, your Ether, and keep your Classic on another site right now, until we make that determination of are we going to actually add Classic. And I think it's a little bit premature for us we want to just see things settle a bit and see if it might be worthwhile for us to spend the time and effort and the development resources to actually add Classic as another token inside of JAX. So we're just going to wait and see how that plays out. I'm not against Classic. I'm not pro-Ether or anti-Classic. I think choice is good, and I think it's an immutability versus consensus debate. And I think both can probably survive. If one doesn't, that's fine too. We're going to see if it makes sense for our user and if our customers actually want that support. So that's what we're determining right now.
What else are you guys working on? What happened to your event? I think you were going to do something in September.
Yeah, we were. What I realized that the dates were conflicting with two things. A large event in Montreal, a fintech event that our two main partners, Deloitte and TMX, the Toronto Stock Exchange, were also supporting, and it just happened to be on the same time, which was unfortunate. And there's also the Shanghai event that's going on, the DevCon. So what we decided to do at the request of our partners was to postpone the event. We're looking at early next year right now. We're just trying to make the alignment with the convention center. So we decided to push that back, which is a good play, I think, because we can then get our partners to actually give us full attention rather than have to worry about other events that they're also doing at the same time. So that's the plan with that right now. What else are we doing? I'm in a space.
Can I interject about the Toronto
Sure.
conference? I suggest that you have a ski trip before or after, like for bonding.
Ski trip, but yeah, I guess we could do that. But then we got to put it at a time when the weather's not going to be so great, though. So
well,
that's always a trade-off.
Do it in the winter. I don't know. I remember the skiing being really good in Canada. I'm going to a Latin American Bitcoin conference, and I always like those little kind of, I don't know, the little social things that you do to get to know the country. I think it bonds people together. But
me too. Wasn't the Argentina one time? That's where I met you, eh? I met you in Argentina.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the fantastic conference? And I'm really looking forward to the one again back in
this year.
In this year. Yeah, we're gonna see it. That was just my favorite because of the community. It was a really tight speaker group, and we just had such a fantastic time. It was a really good bonding thing. So I know exactly what you mean. So yeah. We need to have to do something like that.
I'm going to come up a couple days early. I'm going to do Julia Taransky's Russian spa, and I'm going to do a couple days of skiing.
Nice.
But anyway, continue. So what else?
So one last question.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, in the original CryptoKit, you guys had a chat program, a way to message other CryptoKit users. Is there any chance of that functionality coming into JAX? Because I really enjoyed that.
Yes. So in CryptoKit, we had PGP messaging. We basically took a very complex system of private public key system of what PGP is and kind of made it a little more useful. What we've done now, we've also spent some time when we put the same keys that you use for PGP can also now be derived from your 12-word mnemonic. So it's an integration that we did, was the first of its kind. We do plan on having that messaging layer in JAX in the future that's going to enable all the devices to sync together. So one of the things right now that we're focusing on is how do we get global settings to appear on all the different devices, which is very difficult without having that centralized server. So the messaging layer is something we plan on bringing in the future. I don't think I have a time on that right now. Our goal is adding more tokens, and our goal is internationalization and getting this out and pushing in the areas such as China and India and really targeting the areas that don't really have good wallets right now. So that's where our focus is, and then I think the messaging layer is something that we do plan on bringing in the future, but there's a lot more logistics involved between taking it across 9 platforms and devices rather than just targeting it on the one extension that we had.
How do you choose which coin? Because there are a lot of crap coins. There are a lot of scam coins out there. There's a lot of, and every extra coin is a bet against some other coin, I guess, because people are like, oh, that coin's going to be the thing. Is there any what's the choice? How do you guys choose which?
So there's a couple different things that we've been leaning towards. Because we have Shapeshift integration, I think to say in Target that we're going to put coins in that Shapeshift does could be something that we just decide to do. Say everything that Shapeshift has, we're also going to be integrating in there. Because I'm sure they've done their research, and for them, it's a way of monetizing, and for us, it's also a way of monetizing as well. The flow that goes in and out, and the exchange of different tokens within our wallet is where we can actually monetize there. The ones that we're picking of what's coming up is really going to be based on communities and the response we're getting when we reach out and say, hey, which coin do you want to see here, and why do you want to see in Jax? So we've got Dash coming out, and Dash had some really cool features. I think the Dash community in a whole is a very interesting one, and we've just started to get to know it. They have a similar DAO system where they put money towards different projects and towards marketing of their stuff, and they have some cool features of anonymity they're working on, and also about instant payments. So I think the tokens we want to do are the ones that have the most transaction volumes. That's where we're going to target things because that's better for us. But also the ones that I think the communities like, and it's usually because they offer some feature or something that's improving on the ecosystem. Which is what's giving them the attention. So that's the kind of ones that we're going to be leaning more towards.
Well, this is good stuff. I like this. Anthony, I didn't realize that you were able to explain things in regular human terms. Who knew?
Thanks, Tatiana.
Very cool. All right, so any final things you want to impart to our audience before we bring on our next guest?
Sure. I think that, like I was saying before, we're all into this because of the technology, and I think the freedom that this provides, the way that you can actually do things and be in control of your whole digital life, is the way the future is going to be. I think that the way that money is made right now, which is a rent-seeking model of taking commissions between individuals interacting, is going to be a thing of the past. And what we're trying to do with our wallets is basically build a command center for this technology, a browser, basically, if you will, for like what it was to the internet. We want to introduce that to blockchain. We want to provide that user experience that the masses can use, people like my dad can use who own Bitcoin, but need a very simplified way in order to interact with the technology. So that's what we're looking to do, and do it in a way that gives people back control of their digital lives, where you can decide how your identity is used, you can decide how your assets get distributed, you can decide and hold on to your keys without having to rely on third parties, and really be part of this whole change that I think is going to be part of the future. Is whole new ways of making money are going to emerge, because if we add more and more value between human interaction, that's what's going to advance, and that's where the innovation is going to happen.
Excellent. All right, cool. Where can people catch up with what you're up to?
Decentral.ca is our website. Jax.io, jaxx.io is where you can, jaxx.io is where you can go for the download links to all the different platforms that we offer with Jax. And my email is anthony@decentral.ca if anybody wants to hit me up.
Awesome. Right. Thanks, Anthony. Hit me up when you come to New York. See you soon.
Birthday month. See you, Tatiana.
I'll see you later.
Okay,
bye.
See you later.
Take care. All right, Josh, that was pretty good.
Yeah,
Anthony's a really understandable guy. I mean, he was pretty coherent. I didn't realize that he. I don't know. I guess I just never realized. Anyway, that was fun. Our next project is a little bit more, I guess, in my wheelhouse, as it's a content platform, publishing platform. Although, to be honest, these things get a little bit confusing. Luckily, we have our friend Matej Boda airing with us. He was just watching. Matej has an interesting history. He does sports stuff, and I don't know, he played soccer, but one of his friends is at the Olympics right now. So while he was on hold, he was watching his friend hopefully winning whatever game he was playing. Matej, you want to tell us? Welcome to the show.
Hi. So yeah, my friend actually, I haven't checked it. He was, I think, 5th, so he's going to the finals.
Wow, so which country was he representing?
Slovakia.
Slovakia? Oh, nice.
What sport was he playing? Come on, give us, like pulling teeth. He's like, oh, I don't know.
He was competing in water slalom. It's still running, I think. So.
A water slalom? Now I understand why you didn't want to tell us what the sport was. What the hell is a water slalom?
Yeah, it's whitewater kayaking.
Oh, that sounds much better. That's what I was picturing.
I remember I went down to Tasmania. I was getting really excited for whitewater rafting down in Tasmania with my father, and turns out they had a drought, so they went to plan. It was awful. Typical Australia, you know.
Okay, cool. So Mate and I met at a conference, I think in Chicago.
Yeah.
About a year
Inside
ago.
Bitcoin.
Some sort of, Bitcoin thing. And he's been working on this project for quite a while, but I will allow him to tell you. Mate, first of all, what made you get into the Bitcoin space? What were you doing before that? And how did you find out about Bitcoin? What happened?
Yeah, well, I was working at BMW in development in Munich for a year. And then I moved back to Slovakia and got back to school, so I was thinking, like, researching new technologies and everything, and I hooked up with my friend Matej Michalko, who was organizing Bitcoin conferences. And he kind of hooked me up, and yeah, like, I bought a miner, and I thought, yeah, let's get rich, but it didn't really work that way, so... But it was okay. It was fun. Actually, I usually, when I take some new technology, I usually dig into it. So I kind of got hooked up with the whole blockchain thing, and was thinking like, wow, this is big. This is bigger than Bitcoin. We can apply it in many ways. So yeah, and we have been thinking from then, and we had this. Took us quite like 3 to 4 months where we were thinking what are the best applications for blockchain, and then we came out with Decent and started working on it.
But you didn't have a creative background, right?
Actually, I have technical background, but I finished violin school and piano and drums, so yeah, I used to play. I'm a musician. In my free time now, but I have technical background.
Oh, okay. So tell me what is Decent, as if I don't know anything about Bitcoin. Say I'm just a regular old content creator, because that's who you're targeting, right? So tell me why I should use your platform and what it is.
Okay, so Decent is using blockchain to eliminate the unnecessary intermediaries in the process of publishing content and buying content. So as an example, if you're an artist, for example, musician, you probably are using iTunes or to sell your music. What we do, iTunes is taking really big cuts from you, and you don't earn that much money, and you cannot put real price tag for people to actually buy the content for the price you want. So this is what Decent is. You can just fill it up with content and connect directly to the consumers or people who like your stuff, either if it's a book, movie, or actually any digital content. It's got a pretty wide usability, and yeah, that's it. You can just sell the stuff directly to your customers without any fees. 100% of price goes to you.
Is this something where, one of the things about some of these sites is that there is a certain amount, I guess, well, iTunes just puts everything out there, right? How are you going to get people to start using that then, right? Because if I could sell music on my website, but most people will buy it on iTunes. So how do you get people over to the Decent site in order to help those publishers? Because if you want to get published in the New York Times, it's because you know that they have an audience, right? So how does that just happen organically through the development of the, engagement with the community and stuff, or how does that work?
Decent is only a protocol. Like you can the core of Decent, it's open source, and you can build up any applications on top of it, and you can also integrate Decent protocol into existing applications. So we started to do it the bottom-up way because yes, we want to attract the whole world like in half a year. That just doesn't work like that. We have the long-term goals, and we started to build up partnership with many companies, also with currently we have a few hardware companies that will also produce hardware, but the goal is to also integrate Decent into already functioning businesses, for example, because it's peer-to-peer based. So in this way we can cut cut the costs for big companies because they pay
let's just take it back a notch, because I'm still confused of what it actually is. So it's a platform for creative content, and that's music, imagery, any sort of content, documents as well.
Yeah, any digital content you can sell. It's marketplace for any digital content, but it's only a protocol. There, you have to build up applications on top of it. We will release with the desktop client, but we plan to develop application and also encourage people to work on the protocol. And this way, it's similar to Ethereum. You could build up whole projects and whole companies on top of our protocol, on top of Decent network.
Right, and the blockchain holds a hash of these documents or the actual documents?
No, it only we have the Decent has 3 layers. The first is BitTorrent, which is the data transfer layer, and then the blockchain holds only hashes and metadata of the documents.
Which blockchain?
We designed our own blockchain.
And is it mined? Is there an incentive-based mining mechanism?
Oh yeah, we have for the initial Genesis block we have modified proof of stake, but for the mining we have proof of custody, which is based on your storage you supply for the network bandwidth, similar to MateSafe model, but we changed it a bit. And so you mine actually with sharing and seeding the content through BitTorrent.
Wow, fascinating. And did it have to be this? Is this a way for you guys to monetize and pay yourselves, or was there no option of using a Bitcoin or Ethereum or one of these more established blockchains?
Yeah, well, we are thinking to build it on Ethereum, but we thought that smart contracts are. I read Ethereum white paper long before it was launched, and smart contracts are pretty tricky thing. Like they are really useful. You can do really great things with it, but they are also dangerous because when somebody doesn't look at the DAO problem and etc., when you can exploit the code pretty easily if it's not well written, and not everybody can code, and not every artist can code their own smart contracts. So we were thinking like, let's build this for real people, not only programmers. So we said like, okay, we don't need smart contracts for this type of thing, because we didn't want it to solve all of the problems. We just wanted to solve that, like make the data distribution better, how it works.
Great.
So
okay,
that's
gotcha.
why we built our own blockchain.
So you're working with companies?
Wait, sorry, so I wanted to jump in because there was something that was unclear to me before. If you guys are creating this, we've created a protocol, right? And it seems like you're not really ready for the content creators until after other things have been built on it. Is that a correct understanding?
Well, you actually, we have the prototype ready, and you can already publish the stuff there when it's going to launch. Of course, we haven't launched yet. And the prototype supports all of the files, but it's desktop-based client, and our goal is to make it foolproof and really for everybody. That like my mom will come to computer and just type it in and start mining or start watching. It has to be simple. People don't like complicated stuff. Like I remember when I was starting to mine Bitcoin, it took me like 2 days to set it all up. We don't want this for the users. So we as a foundation, we have, it's mentioned in our development plan, we will develop, first application is nearly ready. It's going to go right with the launch of the network or a few months after. It's going to be medium.com like, where you can post text, blogs, books, anything. And then we plan to release also application for music, for TV or for movies, etc. Also for games, for indie game developers, because I'm I was professional gamer a long time ago, and I know loads of game developers, and they are pretty unhappy with things on Steam, for example, because they take really big cuts, and the small gaming studios can't really make money on Steam anymore.
Wait, what do you mean Steam? Like Steam it?
No, Steam is
okay,
the gaming distribution platform. It's really big company.
Okay, got it.
So probably we'll go into this sector also. We also have a plan to develop hardware, like this plug-and-play computer into your smart TV, where you which will be our protocol will be an application will be embedded to it, and you will just plug it in, load your account, and watch the stuff from the network on the TV. Yeah, and we have like long-term plans with it.
This may have been answered before, maybe I just didn't understand it, but if I'm uploading my content, doesn't that mean that you're just going to have a bunch of everybody's stuff on something? Like, don't you need storage of some kind? Or
No,
does that not apply? I mean, wouldn't...
when you upload the content, it's get encrypted. We have this one-to-many publishing. So you upload the content, it gets encrypted and cut it into the pieces on many computers, which is seeded by the whole network.
Oh, so you don't need storage?
No, we don't need storage because we use personal computers of the users.
Oh, okay.
We incentivize the users to mine, and mining in our network means that you share your storage with the world that you don't use.
Okay, so now I understand. Thank you.
Because there is like loads of free storage on personal computers that it's not used.
Yeah, that's when you referred to the MadeSafe thing earlier.
Yeah, and then it gets encrypted, and you can open parts of the content online, so people can check what it is, and then when they pay you, it's automatic. You exchange keys, and they actually get the stuff. We have one-to-many sharing, publishing.
Wait, so how can they? What if somebody puts something malicious up there?
Yeah, well, in the desktop client, yeah, but we will try to filter this stuff in the web-based applications. You can put malicious stuff also on the internet. So.
Well, that's what it sounded like, because the problem that Josh and Anthony had identified earlier with these fake wallets or whatever that were evil, that's what I gathered in English of what they were saying. I didn't know that this was a problem, so I guess that same thing could happen here, and I don't even know how you would be able to technologically work around that. I mean, you guys aren't dealing with such a scale of people where this is going to be an issue, but I never even knew that was something to even consider.
Actually, yeah, would you have a voting mechanism or something like that where people can, kind of like Reddit, where you upvote and downvote and people have community feedback to what's an original content, especially for artists. If if I grab all of Tatiana's work and upload it and go, yeah, let's pay me for that.
We actually have this. That's another layer I didn't mention. We have the reputational layer, which gives people, when they buy the content, they can rate the content. We have one algorithm that's evaluating the reputation. It's in our yellow paper. I would have to find out the name, but I don't think it's important now. So yeah, there is also this aspect. So you can rate content. So you build up and the reputation is stored in blockchain. So you build up actually trustful lifetime reputation. So if you upload something malicious, then people can downvote you. It's not really voting mechanism. It's more about reputation. A bit more complicated. But yeah, you can get bad reputation, and therefore you won't be searched so easily, and etc.
I don't want to go off into the weeds here, but can't you do that in anything? I didn't even know that this is a thing. Can I put up is it possible to put up files on, I guess, any kind of thing, not just wallets, right? Can people put malicious apps and stuff in the app stores?
Yeah, well, that's what's happening. People are uploading malicious apps. They're grabbing some open source code, making it look like the original app, and the app steals someone's. I saw on Reddit some poor.
It's not even just on Bitcoin stuff. This is a problem. No. Come on, guys, get on it. This sounds very alarming.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a major problem that Apple and Google need to deal with. properly, is having is understanding content. But now, you know, we're hopefully getting away from these singular centralized walled gardens and going to more amazing decentralized applications or
But will there
protocols.
be an incentive for those decentralized people to do that quality control? You know,
Well, I
like
think
why aren't Apple and Google doing that, right? And then if that was kind of distributed to other people, will they necessarily have the same incentives?
Martin?
Oh, well, actually, there was, if I will put an example, because, like, let's say, yes, piracy is malicious. So I will explain it on an example of piracy, because I don't think the ways we fight piracy now is good. Actually, digital rights management, and it's a technically unsolvable thing. So you have to solve it another way, and we are trying to do this to give the power over content back to the artist, so they can set the price tag and they can set if they want to give it for free. And it's a proven model, actually. Also, if you look at bands such as Radiohead, moved to this model, and they earned much more money from selling their albums than they used to earn through publishers, because they said, like, we'll give you our album for free and you can pay what you want.
Yeah, but that's also
So
Radiohead, and they've got all these people that are already psycho fans for them. So I don't know if that's the best. I don't know. I guess I'm always thinking of the independent artist, right?
yeah,
Which these
but
problems tend to solve. But yes, I think giving that artist the control is the best part. I just don't know if always free is the number one way.
we plan to implement in future some copyright management system based on
I think,
blockchain, but
you know, what I love is on AMA, on the Ask Me Anything on Reddit, is that there's always this proof of who you are, and someone the original person's holding up something that proves that that's them and they're calling for an AMA. Maybe something like that, where an uploader account could prove themselves somehow, say this is the official Tatiana account, and this is the official music, and by downloading this content, you're supporting the artist, or something like that.
I think people will figure that out soon. I keep hearing people talking about, fixing that problem. It can't be going on forever, right? I mean, you guys are doing, you said that you guys were doing some sort of a reputation thing, right? How do you verify that people are there? Have you come up with a solution for your use currently?
Once again,
so there's no Tatiana impersonators on Decent, I mean, there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, well, if you hold the content and nobody else holds it now, you can upload it to the blockchain and you have the timestamp that, yes, I was the first who uploaded it. So in this way, people can see that, yes, you were the first. And if somebody gets...
Well,
sorry, I don't know why everything's ringing. I have been invaded. Anyway, continue.
Hey, I really like that idea, Mate. I mean, it's a way for also people to promote the Decent protocol, because it's like, quick, I've got new content, upload it there first. It's a great way of timestamping.
But what if I steal? But Josh, what if I hear you jamming on something and I just take it and you didn't have, like, you don't even know about Decent? So then what do I do, Or what if I steal my neighbor's awesome new song and I pretend that it's mine, or their book or something? How do you know if they didn't know to register it?
And what if you upload it on YouTube? It's the same thing.
Yeah, that's true.
So this is actually, as I said before, copying and copyright is an unsolvable problem technically.
Mm-hmm.
I can just screenshot anything and paste it on my account and say it's mine. So
okay,
it's not solvable by any mechanism. Now
right.
Nothing. It wasn't solved. Now we got this. I think those laws are stupid, and they are not working especially. But actually, also these DRM laws, artists don't really have something from it. It's the publishing companies that are pushing those laws, and they are suing people and from piracy. And
not only that, it's not only that. It's governments getting involved and saying, using it as an excuse to really track everybody and trace everybody, because it's like, ooh, we've got to stop piracy.
Yeah.
So they set up
I mean, I think that artists, I mean, I would prefer that somebody gave me money for my music, but at the end of the day, I do think that those industries kind of inject themselves into that process with the government, and then all of a sudden there's some weird bureaucratic body that's making decisions for everybody. So I think that this is more equitable, giving that control back to the artists. And I think that's really what we're dealing with when we're talking about using blockchain and creative stuff. It's really overwhelmingly seems to be in favor of the individual being empowered and taking away that other thing, which makes it surprising to me when I go to music industry events and they're all interested in talking about blockchain, and I'm like, it's almost like a banker being like, wow, Bitcoin's so cool. It's like, do you know Bitcoin's gonna get you out of a job? But I don't know. It's actually maybe not everybody in the music industry wants to necessarily control things in a negative way. So it's kind of cool to see.
Yeah, actually in Decent, the users control the whole network. We only launch it, and we will develop the core of the protocol further and optimize it, but the running of the network is all controlled by users.
It's a really epic idea. I really love the idea of having a decentralized content distribution network. I love it, and I think a lot of people are tackling that at the moment. Is there something that differentiates you from, let's say, Storage or even Mega, who's building something as well now? And also, on top of that, how do you guys get paid? I mean, you need to eat.
Yeah, well, to the first question, Storage serves as a sort of like the Dropbox solution. I have my files, I put it there, and it gets stored, and I'm the only one that can access it. But on Decent, we are doing the distribution way. So I put up the files on the network, and anybody who pays can access it, or I can put them up for free, and people can also access it. So that's the difference. Storage is one-to-one, and we do one-to-many publishing. So that's the core. Regarding Mega, there's not been that many news about it, like about the description, what it should be. I think it's also a storage thing. And yeah, regarding the payment, we had an investment last year, so that's what we actually are working with, and yeah, we pretty much aim for the ICO that will happen in 10th of September. Software sale where we will sell the initial tokens.
Hey, Matej, you cut out while you were talking about the ICO, so maybe you want to say it again, because I want to make sure we're coming up on the hour, but I want to make sure that if people want to find out more, they can, potentially invest in you guys if they believe in the vision, and also check out more information. So what's the deal with the crowd thing?
Yeah, it's gonna start at 10th of September. That's in 32 days, I think, and gonna last for 2 months. You can find all of the information on sale.decent.ch, and also you can sign up to the newsletter to get the most actual information about the project. And we also launched the bounty program like 77 days ago, so you can participate also in that.
What's the bounty program? What do you have to do?
Well, we have this Bitcoin Talk signature thing, then we have Twitter and Facebook follows and newsletter signing up. So you get some stakes. Excuse me?
So you get a stake or something when you do some of these things?
Yeah, you got a stake, and we have this pool of, I think it was 700,000 coins that's going to be distributed all over the users.
Awesome.
Per stake.
Cool.
All right, great. Well, listen, it was really nice talking with you. On our way out of the show, we usually have a magic word or a magic phrase, because we not only air on Liberty.me, but IPM Nation, LRN.FM, and also Let's Talk Bitcoin, where they award people with LTB coins. I usually let the guests choose, but today I'm not going to, because you know what the phrase is going to be? It's going to say, "Happy birthday, Tatiana." That's the magic phrase. So the people who really love me will know, and the rest of them will get nothing. No, just kidding. Matej, thank you very much for joining us. One more time, that website?
It's sale.decent.ch. And
Excellent.
happy birthday, Tatiana.
Thank you. Well, you can get your own LTV coins there too. Just a couple quick things. Our sponsor is the Bitcoin CPA. I spoke with him this week about my taxes. Let me tell you something, people. Taxes are no freaking joke with Bitcoin. I love Bitcoin. Use it whenever you pay, but you better get a tax attorney today, and the Bitcoin CPA can help you. He's really great, really nice to work with, and I'll tell you, man, disentangling that is not an easy thing. Otherwise,
he's got a great book too.
Yeah, there's a Liberty Fest in New York City for those of you who are going to be here, September 10th. We've got a North Carolina event that I'm going to be doing, so I'm going to be playing in North Carolina on the 17th with Jordan Page, and then in October I'm going to be going on the Bob Murphy, Tom Woods, Contra Krugman cruise.
Oh,
that's really
fantastic.
It's going to be the best. I know, it's going to be really cool. So
I'm super jealous.
Yeah, well, you can still sign up October 9th to the 16th. Otherwise, La BitConf is going to be in South America. Are you coming to that, Mate? Can you make it out to Buenos Aires in November? I don't like that face. He's muted right now, but I saw a no, and I don't appreciate that.
I saw a no too. Oh,
yeah, I'm not into that. Josh, you better come. Everybody, make yourself, show up at some of these conferences. It's always great to hang out with my peeps. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week. We've got some really good guests. I think Carla Gerke is on next week, and Christina Tobin, who's from Free and Equal. With all this election drama going on, it should be a pretty good show. And plus, it's the Ladies of Liberty. Sorry, Josh, you're going to be outnumbered. Awesome.
Oh,
all right, thanks,
I'm a big fan of being outnumbered by liberty-minded women.
Or women in general. You're like, I'll make some exceptions for some statists too. No, I'm just kidding. All right, bye everybody. Have a great night. See you later.
Ciao.
Take care. Thanks for listening.
Thanks
Bye.
everyone.